Hello and welcome to Edukimi's YouTube channel. My name is Harsh Singh, and in this video we shall discuss the Gazette magazine for 15 September 2021, your daily guide to UPSC current affairs. Now, the hot selling articles, the latest articles in the market today are 1. A report, school survey report, an important report for the online system of education. The second one is government attempt to initiate digital agriculture. And the third one is facilitating adoption during the times of pandemic. So some change rules here. This day in history dedicated to Engineers Day. Who is it about? We will discuss. Featured news, which is on a different video, is on the learning gaps due to school lockdown. Now, this is a very important article considering the last 17 months when the schools were completely closed and there was online mode of education. Therefore, in this article, we will understand what were the glimmering gaps in the online mode of education. We will expose all the gaps, and after that, we will also understand what is the government done or what is it doing to fill those gaps. So this is on a separate video, and rest of the discussion is on the video that you're already watching. There are 2 videos on the Gazette magazine daily. Now, image of the day is on Black Tiger. The terms and concepts that we discussed today are regulatory sandbox, FASTag based parking services, LCA, we are talking of Tejas here, light combat aircraft, India's Tejas. The third one is US green card, an update on the same. The 3 editorials that we discussed today are first on the crypto policy of India and the need for re-examining it. The second one is on the Pegasus debate, how the government should be handling this situation. And the third one is on avoiding certain kind of issues with the early harvest trade deals for India. The case study of the day is Scholazium from Jharkhand. So let's start the discussion. We have dedicated this day in history to all the lakhs and lakhs of engineers that India has. So this day is primarily dedicated to Sir M. Vishweshwarya, and on his birthday is when we celebrate the Engineers Day. He was one of the important persons for India. Why? Because he initiated this automatic barrier water floodgate. So whenever there would be increase in amount of water, these automatic floodgates would shut down the gate of the dam. So this is what he has done, and he has had immense contribution in Indian economy and development. He was born in the year 1861. So you can well imagine, right before 100 years before independence he was born, and he received a lot of accolades from the government and from British government as well. And that is why he also received knighthood. That is the reason that we call him Sir. Knighthood gives him Sir. He was also conferred with Bharat Ratna in the year 1955. The first snapshot is on the school survey. School survey stands for School Children Online and Offline Learning Survey. This survey talks about the level of participation and education during the times of pandemic. The 17 months in which there was lockdown, there was online mode of education provided, but this mode was only for those who had the devices. As many as 50% people in rural household did not have smartphone at all. How would their children be able to study? In fact, only 12% of rural children have their own smartphones to study. Not only that, there are parents who really want the schools to reopen. More than 90% parents in urban and rural areas, they want the school to open. And this statistics has been taken from the vulnerable sections around the whole country. Not only that, you can see there are many students who are not able to read more than a few words. And this has increased due to the lockdown online education, which is not effective. For that, we will also have to look into the feature article for today. It elaborately discusses what are the pain points of online system of education in India. So around 50% students are not being able to effectively read their words, right? Their abilities to study have decreased during lockdown. Yes, it will, because in online system of education, there is less discipline for the child. There is less privacy to be able to study. And the teacher also has to be equipped well. So this is why this whole statistics represents the present state of dismal state of education in the schools. The situation is even far worse for the marginalized communities, right? So for example, the Muslim community, the SC/ST community, we have women. What about differently abled people? It is a dismal and very, very poor, pathetic state of affairs for them, right? What does the government need to do when it has reinitiated the school going pattern again? The first thing it needs to do is to start maintaining the schools, repairing of the schools, because these government schools also would have crashed down. So this is one thing. Then they need teacher training for a blended system of education, online and offline mode, because there could be a third wave, there could be a fourth wave as well, and the schools might get closed. So teacher training becomes very important. And then third is midday meal, right? Nutritional well-being, which was being maintained pre-pandemic, it also declined. So therefore, all these are the prime requirements that I mentioned right now. The second snapshot is on digital agriculture. Remember, we had spoken of AgriStack, where Microsoft is helping the government to be able to contain the data, a database of all the farmers, what they are cultivating, what they have cultivated, what is the potential of that particular region and field, how much information they have about the yields, and therefore to be able to predict and to be able to give services to the farmers. So that was AgriStack. This time the government has signed 5 MOUs with private companies to initiate and further accelerate the digital agriculture process. Now there are 3 important things in the value chain which needs to be digitalized. The first one talks about the crop selection procedure, right? Crop selection has to be digitalized and this has to be aided for the farmers. The second one is crop management, which is about providing various kinds of input, giving them weather services, giving them services so that they can micromanage the agriculture practice. So agriculture management is the second one. And the third one is the market oriented. Give them avenues where they can discover prices. Give them avenues where they should be able to know whether they should keep the product right now or sell them in the market. So these are various things that can be provided through digital transformation of agriculture. And this is where the government has initiated AgriStack. The government has also initiated National E-Governance Plan in Agriculture. Right, so Unified Farmer Service Platform. This is what I am talking of in AgriStack. Unified Farmer Service Platform. Do remember this keyword here. Snapshot 3 is on new rules to facilitate adoption. During the times of pandemic, a lot of people have lost their parents. Small children also have lost their parents and they need proper grooming. We have also studied snapshots in which these small children have been exploited. There have been fake adoption cases and the children have been exploited. This is why the government already had these kind of plans to prevent the exploitation of these small children, and government had very strict norms. Now, under those norms, if an NRI is adopting a child, they have to come to India and they have to stay here for 2 years post-adoption. They have to stay here for 2 years post-adoption. Will they be encouraged to adopt even their relatives' children? They will not be. And therefore, this time, under the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, this amendment has been made. Now, the observation of 2 years, which was to be done in India, this observation can be done by the consulate or the embassy, wherever they go back. If they come from America and they go back to America, this supervision can be done under the Indian embassy in America as well. So this is the new amendment. Now, this Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, it enables the adoption under 4 religions: Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, and Sikh. So one primacy is given to people of the same culture to adopt. So this has promoted the adoption of Hindu children, Buddhist, Jain children, and Sikh children, and especially by the NRI community, right? Now, they have many other causes. They have to adopt their children, and they also are more empathetic in certain ways. So therefore, if they demand for adoption, this has to be facilitated. So this preference is given to similar background. This is one, but till now we have had very strict CARA rules. So CARA is about the Child Resource Adoption Agency, right? So what CARA says ideally about adoption, now this is under the Personal Act, right? So, but then what CARA speaks about adoption in general is very strict. So CARA says that if anybody wants to adopt, they have to register themselves on CARING's website. CARING's website is a website that has been maintained by CARA, and people have to register that, yes, I want to adopt a child, an Indian child. After that, there is a background survey, background research done by special agencies. So special research agencies do background survey on those parents who want to, prospective parents who want to adopt the child. And after that, CARA gives a written approval, and this approval is also authorized later by the court. A lot of bureaucratic procedures. But this act, this amendment in act has enabled adoption by this similar background people. So this is the particular update. We have covered CARA, we have covered CARINGS in one of the snapshots previously. If you search CARINGS or CARA Educami on Google, you will be able to find that snapshot as well. Image of the day is on black tiger. We have always heard of white tigers, and this is a black one. This is because of certain mutation in their gene structure, and this is a special variant of the Bengal tiger. Some specialities of Bengal tiger are, very well you can imagine what they could be. Since they are from the mangrove areas, they can swim well, and if they can swim well, that means they have a bigger and sturdier body. So they have got a bigger body, and not only that, they will also be able to eat fishes. So these are the 3 important points about Bengal tiger. They can swim well, they have bigger body, and they can eat fishes. The first term in news is regulatory sandbox. What is it? Now, every mode of development requires testing. Testing at practical levels, not only at theoretical levels. And this is where the RBI has announced the 3rd cohort of regulatory sandbox. This is where live testing is carried out before the product is actually launched in the market. So suppose we have studied about account aggregator, right? In a couple of snapshots in one feature article, account aggregator before being introduced in the market will go through the testing, right? So testing if the software, if the application is working properly or not. If it is not, it will be discarded, it will have to be improved. If it is working properly, it will be launched. So RBI has launched the third cohort of regulatory sandbox. This is beneficial for the financial inclusion and innovations of the country. Why? Because this is the process which involves learning by doing. Rather than introducing a process which might not work or work later, we got to test this in the real time. This is what regulatory sandbox is about. The second term in news is FASTag based parking service. This parking service has been initiated in Delhi Metro Rail. Now, what happens in FASTag is that there is an RFID, there is a chip at the particular vehicle, and then there is a chip here as well. This chip detects the presence of the vehicle and it automatically deducts the money so that one can travel across. So taxes are deducted automatically. This facilitates faster transport of vehicles. Now this time this was introduced in the highways, all national highways, it was made mandatory, FASTags, and now it has been introduced in the parking system as well in the country. The third term in news is LCA Tejas, Light Combat Aircraft Tejas Mark II. That means the second variant of Tejas. This is 4.5 generation of this aircraft, and this is a light combat aircraft which will be replacing the Mirage 2000. Mirage 2000 was a French Dassault aircraft, and Tejas will be replacing that. This will be sturdier, this will be more agile, and this will be heavier. This will also be equipped with certain indigenous weaponry systems. It has been made by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. The fourth term in news is America's green card. Now, America has had a huge list of people who wants to convert into their citizens. And citizenship gaining is not a very small process. It is a cumbersome and a time-taking process in which, first of all, a person who has migrated to the country, that person gains the visa. They have access to visa. And after that, they gain the permanent residency status, PR status. And this is what is called as green card, availing the green card services. And after that, few more years, and then they become the citizens of the country. So while they become the permanent residents, they have more rights in the country. Yes, they do not have the rights to vote only after becoming a citizen. Now, America has said that since there is a long list of Indian, Chinese, Philippines, and then we have people from Pakistan, so they all want to convert into citizenship of America. So this PR, this status, this is pending for a lot of people. A lot of green cards are pending. So the continuation of this whole process has broken down. In fact, a lot of people have had to return to India or their native countries because their visa was not processed further. This is where America says that it will provide the provision of green card for a particular fee. So a lot of people who have migrated there because of distress, people who have had money only, those people have migrated because of distress, but illegally they will be legalized when they pay certain amount of money. Yeah, all these are along with conditions. The first editorial talks about the possibility of re-examine our India's crypto policy. The editorial, which has been written by an ex-IPS officer, it starts by saying that cryptocurrency has been viewed as a risk, as a challenge, as a threat, as something which aids terrorism. But can it be viewed in a different light? Can it be viewed as an opportunity for a person to realize wealth, to realize money? Yes, it can be. That is why there are 10,000 cryptocurrencies around the world. And as much as around 15 million people in India, 1.5 crore people in India have invested in cryptocurrencies. This is almost around 3/4 of India's GDP. That is the amount that we are talking of in cryptocurrency investment. And let us look at a quick comparison between cryptocurrencies and the conventional banking. Conventional banking does have certain disadvantages. It is slow, it is vulnerable to threats and attacks, it is costly. And very good examples are the SWIFT transactions, which are slow in nature. We've also seen the PNB cases where there were alleged cases of theft of money, right? So this is where the cryptocurrency has got some edge over it, right? We have to move beyond the idea that cryptocurrency is about money laundering and it is about dark net. Yes, it does. It is having those components as well. There are challenges. There are challenges which are being provided against the sovereign, the country. That means the government itself. What are the challenges? One important challenge is that of the currency itself. When people prefer the cryptocurrency, they are not preferring the government currency. Also, what about taxation? So these are the sort of issues which are challenging the government structure. vis-a-vis the crypto policy of the country, right? And therefore, probably there's a need to think about what the government strategy should be for India, right? World over, there has been acceptance of the cryptocurrencies. There has been larger interpretation. In UK, we have ATMs where we can purchase cryptocurrencies. In Hong Kong, people can accept crypto as legal tender. So probably India also can start looking at these policies. Recently, El Salvador also accepted Bitcoin as its legal tender, right? So India can start looking at these policies. There are 4 important recommendations in the article. The first one says that India should start gaining hints to have hints from the global economies so that crypto may be accepted in the country. Second one is that India should get away from the from the understanding that crypto is all about blood money, about narco trade, about funding the terror. Right. So these are changes in strategies of the government which should be aided. The third one, it says that there are so many Indian technocrats who are already serving in the crypto business. There is a demand for technocrats in crypto business around the world. And why is not the government accepting it? And therefore, it says that right now crypto is it is ineffective to ban this, and therefore government must accept it. And how it must accept through 2 mechanisms. The first one is know your customer. If we know who are the customers in the crypto business, we can tax them. It can be made legalized. This is one. And the second one is having anti-money laundering norms. The second editorial talks about the Pegasus issue and how the government must respond to the issue. Just recently, there was a news which spoke about 10 times increase in funding of National Security Council. And this is alleged that probably it was the funding which was meant for Pegasus. And this is where the editorial starts saying that the central government has been denying charges that it has not been using Pegasus. But the inquiry against the government is on two fronts. One, has it used Pegasus software against people, against the law, or has it even purchased this or not? The first one becomes more important. Has it used it against the people? The law clearly states, the parliamentary law clearly states, the IT Act clearly states that the government cannot directly invade the privacy of the individual. So there has to be an intermediary who has to be in the whole process. So when the center intercepts the information, when they monitor the information, when they decrypt the information, it has to be done through the intermediary. But Pegasus has been doing this without any known awareness to anybody else. So this is what is the major contention. Yes, the article which has been written by a Supreme Court advocate, it says the person ideally has to prove that something was committed against them. But in this case, the government silence is the one which will have to prove that it did not use this Pegasus software, right? So this is the first important allegation on the government, right? Then it goes on to say that the 2017 Puttaswamy versus Union of India judgment, it clearly stated that privacy, the right to privacy, is one of the important fundamental rights of an individual. And this is where the government use of Pegasus can be rightly challenged. The third editorial talks about the early harvest scheme and some criticism about it. Now, India is in the process of having early harvest free trade agreements with countries like UK, Australia, European Union, and Canada. Now, the editorial says that this is a possible violation in the WTO agreements. Why? Because the WTO agreements talk of the MFN status, most favored nation status. This is where the editorial says that probably India is getting into murky waters, disturbed waters. Now, WTO says that there should be impartial treatment to all the countries as far as international trade agreements are concerned. But if a country is doing free trade agreement, it is fine, but they cannot prefer certain goods only. The idea must be to initiate this free trade agreement for substantial amount of trade. Substantial, that means all the products should be having this mutual level of exclusion of the trade duties. But India is now including early harvest treatment. Early harvest means having only few goods. So India is including as many as around 50% of goods in this early harvest with UK. So this is where the editorial says that probably India is getting into disturbed waters and India should avoid this. This is where the editorial gives some hints. It says that India can avoid these kind of issues if India says that this arrangement is interim and this is a necessary arrangement just for the particular times. Today's case study is on Scholazium. This is a scientist from NAL, National Aeronautics Limited. He's German educated, but he has come back to India and he has left all his education and field and he has gotten into the field of teaching. He has gotten into his school teaching, and this school is called as Scholazium because he believes in school learning along with the practice of learning. So school plus gymnasium. Gymnasium is the place where people practice, and school learning also must be practiced. He believes in the practice of education through exercise of mind. What has he done? He has initiated initiated this for the small children, and one important thing that he's initiated is experiential learning. So in his school, what he does is, when he wants to teach alkali and basis and acidity, he asks children to get oranges. He asks them to get some sort of vegetables, and he asks them to taste them. And this is how he teaches them. He asks them to get the fan, the motor of the fan and its wings, and this is how they reverse engineer the whole fan process, and they create it by themselves. This is a new form of teaching, a learning-based model. This is also a great example of altruism, where a person dedicates his whole life for the learning and growth of the whole nation. And this is where we are talking of the person called as Mohammad Sajid Hussain. If you like our effort, if you like this initiative, do shower some love on us through likes, comments, and shares. If you subscribe to the channel, you will receive timely updates. Thanks for watching.